So this is the guide for the Spellbreaker, support Spellbreaker. The things that you want to pay attention to is this trait, Leg Specialist. When you cripple a target, you will immobilize them with a 12-second internal cooldown. And with this trait, No Escape, when you daze or stun, you will immobilize target as well. So your main role as a Spellbreaker is to firstly remove boons with your skills, and then you want to immobilize and you want to CC. Those are your three main roles. So firstly, we'll go over your hammer skills. Your hammer skills, your main skill is your skill 3, which cripples up to 5 targets in the 600 range cone. And with your skill 2, you don't really do much with it. It's a nice damage skill. With your skill 4, it's a AoE CC within 130 range. So when you're in a melee situation, you want to use this skill. And with your skill 5, it's a single target CC with a nice 3 or 4 second knockdown, depending whether they have the condition weakened. And your skill 1 is just a cleave. And then on your sword warhorn set, your main skills that you want to pay attention to is your 4 and 5. With the 4, you grant your party 2 stacks of charge, which gives them a 10% damage increase when they use their skill or when they damage enemies for 2 hits. So you want to use this when you engage or as often as possible. With your skill 5, it grants barrier and condition cleanse. You can use it defensively by removing condis, or you can use it offensively when you're going for the engage to grant barrier, giving your party more survivability. Your skill 2 is a leap skill. You use this offensively by trying to get into position to use your break enchantment, which is a melee skill. Or you can use it to get into position to drop your wind enchantment, which basically drops on your feet. Or you can use it defensively to regroup with your teammates if they are far away, or when you were just out of position just to use your skills and then you want to get back as soon as possible. Your skill 1 is a nice cleave, and on the 3rd hit, you will grant cripple. With your skill 2, if you land it, it will cripple, which will proc the Leg Specialist trait, which immobilize. So if your 3rd hit on your auto attack, you will grant cripple, which would immobilize as well. Your skill 3 is a nice little skill to use to hit. You grants bleeding, and it's a nice little damage contributing. And then we will go over your utility skills. With your heal skill is a Defiance Stance. 4 seconds, all damage incoming towards you will be converted to heals, but it doesn't work the same as invulnerability, as you can still get CC, but you will still get all healing that come towards you as from damage. And then you have your Defiance Stance is a pulsing skill, which will grant you stability. And then you have your break enchantment, which is a AoE skill, 360 radius, removes 2 boons up to 5 targets. And then your Shake It Off, which is a Connie Cleanse and Stun Break. But it has a long cooldown, and you kind of want to use it wisely if it's a very, very long fight. And then your break enchantment, your Winds of Disenchantment, basically a huge bubble or an AoE, which will remove boons. But more importantly is the disenchantment debuff, which basically means that the enemy will not gain any boons as long as they have the debuff. Okay, so some things to note is that with this trait, removing a boon from a foe causes all nearby foes to lose additional boons, so it will basically make your boon strip skills even stronger. And then using with this trait, full counter, it will also cripple, which will count towards your Leg Specialist as well. And when you daze, stun, pull, or any CCs, any hard CCs, you will remove a boon as well. So those are some things to try to think of. So with your F skills, you need to charge out your adrenaline by using any damaging skill or by weapon swapping, and this will fill up your adrenaline bar. With your hammer F1, it's a leap. It's a pretty long leap, 600 range. You leap in, and then what you want to do almost pretty much always, after you use your F1, you want to use your F2, because when your F2 procs, your F1 will come off cooldown. And then with your sword F1, it's on the first hit, it will immobilize, and then subsequently it will just cleave. But one thing you want to note is that when you use your F1, you will be rooted in place, and if it's a hotspot, you don't want to stay in the position for way too long. You want to kind of just get off the initial immobilize, and then you want to get out of it by either spamming your movement skills or hitting escape or dodging, whichever gets you out of the position. But like mentioned earlier, whenever you use your F1, you want to almost always go into your F2. Okay, so that will pretty much cover the Spellbreaker build.